The summit in September 2024 in New York will produce an intergovernmentally negotiated, action-oriented pact for the future with chapters on sustainable development and financing for development, international peace and security, science, technology, and innovation and digital cooperation, youth and future generations, and transforming global governance. It will also produce a global digital compact and a declaration on future generations. Did you hear that? Peace and security. Let's look more closely at the peace and security part. Under the heading International Peace and Security, an updated collective security system that can better prevent, manage, and resolve conflicts in both traditional and new domains. Fuller use of preventative diplomacy and mediation mechanisms, including the Secretary General's good offices to forestall confrontation between member states. Increased national whole of society prevention efforts. Strengthened resilience through the implementation of the 2030 Agenda, ensuring that military spending does not come at the expense of sustainable development investments. Revitalize disarmament and arms control efforts, including with respect to indiscriminate weapons, biological and chemical weapons, and small arms. This is what the technical definition of a small arm is. And this section of the document concludes with the implementation of commitments on women and peace and security, and steps to address the links between security and climate change. And this part sounds interesting. Considerations on biotechnology, nanotechnologies, and human enhancement technologies. The Summit of the Future will be held later in September 2024. The United Nations says that will be a booster shot on the Sustainable Development Goals. Point number 1, a renewal of the social contract anchored in human rights to rebuild trust and social cohesion. A social contract is a theory or model that explains the relationship between a government and its citizens and the rights and responsibilities of each party. The Google definition of a social contract in simple terms is when a group of people agree to give up certain rights and accept a central authority in order to protect their other rights. And social cohesion refers to the strength of relationships and the sense of solidarity among members of a community. And the concept of a social contract is very old. It is not new, although it has been in the news for a number of years, and it's making reappearances in the news recently about the need for society to adhere to a new social contract. This is a concept Pope Francis supports, the launch of the Family Global Compact. It's basically the same thing as a social contract. The official website for that project says family, a common good. It seems an interesting concept, having people, family, as a good. The description says Catholic universities, institutions, and centers for the family join together to support the voice of the social doctrine of the Church, our global society for the promotion of marriage, family, and human life. The Family Global Compact is a shared program of actions for the promotion of the family throughout the world in light of the social doctrine of the Church. Together, we must work to foster the leading role of the family in the economy, society, the development of the human person, and the common good. Point number 2 is the focus on the future through a deepening of solidarity with the world's young people and future generations. While that's great in theory, there seems to be a very big disconnect between the older people and the youth. This is a concept the Pope is behind as well. As he says here, alliance between youth and elderly will save humanity. An alliance is a union or association formed for mutual benefit, especially between countries or organizations. United Nations Agenda Point number 3, urgent action to protect and deliver global commons and global public goods through a more networked, inclusive, and effective multilateralism. I clicked on this section to learn more. Under the global public health, it says we must ensure this never happens again, speaking of the pandemic. Mechanisms to manage health as a global public good effectively and proactively are essential for the very sustainability and safety of human life. To achieve many of the proposals set out in this report, we must first work to end and recover from the pandemic. We must also address the gaps and inequities that made us so vulnerable in the first place, building on what has worked and drawing lessons on what has not. Governance of global public health is underfunded, siloed, and distorted by a lack of incentives for equity. And point number 4 on the agenda is an upgraded UN that is fit for a new era and can offer more relevant, system-wide, multilateral, and multi-stakeholder solutions to the challenges of the 21st century. UN 2.0. From another handout I found, it talked about the different aspects of it, and under the digital section, which you'll see they have that one as the letter V, developing digital skills and culture means embracing technological advancements and integrating them seamlessly into our work processes. It is about leveraging digital tools and platforms to enhance efficiency, foster collaboration, and amplify results. Behavioral science is another part of this. Nurturing behavioral science skills and promoting a culture of behavioral insight goes beyond understanding human actions. It's about applying knowledge of human behavior to design evidence-based intervention and encourage positive change. Under the health section, it says behavioral science can help promote good health in a number of areas, including through encouraging better nutrition, medication adherence, and vaccination. For example, behavioral science can be applied to make vaccination more convenient and by emphasizing social norms and using trusted messengers. In the programmatic work of the United Nations, successful outcomes often depend on changes in human behavior. For instance, making healthier food choices, taking medicine, allowing a child to go to school, opting for more environmentally friendly transport, increasing fertilizer use, saving money, or finding formal employment. On a side note, the taking medicine part is interesting. It's not offering medicine, but taking it. It makes me think of the TrueTag technologies. If you aren't familiar with that, there is an edible barcode embedded into the pill. You can scan it with your phone to verify the authenticity of the medication. Back to the United Nations part, they don't say what the application of behavioral sciences to programs and policies is, but they do have a picture next to it. Under this section, it says the summit can invigorate the structures and the trust necessary for effective global governance. It also says on their 75th anniversary, member states pledge to strengthen global governance. As the UN will be working to encourage people to make better choices, I would like to encourage everyone to make better choices themselves. Spend more time in Bible study, pray more, seek God more.